So, welcome to a video. So before I start out, I'm just going to go ahead and mention my Instagram because I've been trying to insert my Instagram a bit more into this channel. It's always been in the description box, but now I might start mentioning it before videos just because it gives you guys a little sneak peek of what's going on with my animals and everything behind the scenes, and it also kind of has some posts that relate to videos that I post here, so it just kind of gives you like a summary of information and different kinds of things, and also really cute pictures of my animals. So if you are interested in following my Instagram, it will be in the description box below. It's Sarah's underscore petting zoo, I think. Why do I not even know my own Instagram? Anyway, so let's start the video. So we have reached the 6-month mark of me having my rescue turtle, Atticus, even though if you go back and look at my previous video right now, it probably says like 4 months, but I filmed that video after having him for a little bit because everything was super crazy with trying to take over him, and then I was still finishing up school at the time, so that video was not super up to date. So now I've had Atticus for 6 months, which is our half-year part, and it has been amazing how much progress he made just in like 3 months, and now being to the 6-month mark, it's like you almost won't be able to tell that anything bad happened to him for the most part, aside from his shell problems. He's like completely fine, eats fine, acts fine, like little joyful bundle thing to have. I don't know if joyful is the right word because I've decided that turtles are basically like the aquatic versions of cats, as in they disrespect everyone and they are here to eat, basically. Anything and everything. Weird because turtles do have so many cat-like qualities, and I can't really explain it, but if you own a turtle, like, you have to agree. Unless if my turtle is just like weirdly cat-like in his own way, but they're like water cats because they're sassy, they don't want to be touched half the time, they just want to eat, and then they're good. Then they don't want anything else from you. They constantly beg food from you, and it just reminds me of cats. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. This is not relating turtles to cats. So if you haven't seen the previous video, I will have it linked in the description box below. I think that video is kind of rough because I was literally so crunched for time and I filmed it while doing a water change. I have a turtle. I'm pretty sure there's so many videos where I was like, so it's really great high quality video, like you guys should totally watch it. But just a basic rundown, Atticus was previously at Petco. He was bought by one of my friends who then kind of neglected him because turtles are like basically almost the number one neglected pet ever because they're kind of really messy and they take up a lot of space, and you can get them for dirt cheap and they're pretty small when you get them, so no one ever really foresees how long they live and just how much effort they take. So Atticus was like in a 75 gallon tank that was barely filled up, but he was not actually in the tank itself. He was kept in a little Sterlite container that was like a foot long and like, I don't know, not even a foot wide, I don't even think, and just a tub of water, and it was disgusting, and he couldn't get out to bask or anything. He just had a heat lamp hanging over the tub of water. It's so much information to go over and just a recap, so really watch that video down below. When I got him, he was covered in his own feces. It took 3 baths until it all came off. He didn't know how to swim, so I had to teach him how to swim again. Not teach him, but I had to let him live in shallow water and slowly raise it, so that way his muscles could get adjusted to actually swimming. When I first brought him home, one of the first things my mom said when she was looking at him, she was like, "I thought they were supposed to swim." I was like, yeah, because I had the water shallow for him because he would only stand on his hind legs to lift himself up to get a breath. He wouldn't swim, he wouldn't float, He just did not understand water because he had only been living in water like that deep his whole life. And he's a 7, maybe now 8-inch turtle. I forgot to measure him when I had him out. I should have measured and weighed him before this video, because when I measured and weighed him when I got him, he was about 7 inches and weighed about 1.5 pounds, so he wasn't really underweight or anything. But it's hard to find an average weight for male turtles. That would be pretty clean, simple, because you know there's average weights for cats and dogs and other things like that. But I guess with turtles, because they can range between like being different sizes at different ages, it's a little bit harder to tell a good healthy weight. But he's a little bit tubby right now. I think I accidentally got him a little chunky because he wasn't used to eating so much when I got him, so I'm cutting back on his food now. He knows how to swim now. His tank is pretty much all the way filled up and he swims perfectly fine. He always floats. He barely ever touches the bottom except for like if he's trying to get some food or something. His colors have really come out. They're really vibrant now. Before, when he didn't have a basking spot, I noticed that his colors were dimmer, but once he got set up into a basking spot, literally after like the first day he basked, I could immediately tell a difference. His red markings, which is the name for the red-eared slider, became way more vibrant. He himself, like his stripes throughout himself, became more yellowish, greenish, like more vibrant. Just his shell and everything else about him to become a lot more colorful than what it was before, so him basking definitely really helped with that. He does still have spots of shell rot, but as you can see in the video clips I'm inserting right now, his shell rot does not go down into the next scoot. Currently he has, I forget what they're called, stuck scoots. So basically a turtle's top shell, which actually I can use this as reference. This is not a turtle I've ever owned. This was found in the woods, and this is actually a box turtle, I think. Maybe a tortoise. So as you can see, the shell has these outlines. So it's made up of like a section here, a section here, a section here. These are called scoots, not this individual stuff, but this stuff up here is called a scoot. It's basically, I believe, made of keratin, like what's in your fingernails, and it covers their entire shell. Well, after certain points in their life, as they get older, they're supposed to shed off those scoots. So they pop off and they're pretty relatively clear and thin. Let me get one. So this, I don't know if you can see it, is a scoot. It's really thin, probably thinner than my fingernail, honestly, because my nails are thick. This is one of Atticus's scoots that he popped off like a month or so ago. And so these little guys come off every once in a while as the turtle grows, and then it gets replaced by the underlayer, which is a bigger, newer scoot. And Atticus, I don't think ever went through his scoot shedding process completely. It's called retained scoots. That's what the official term is, I'm pretty sure. So I don't think he ever shed properly. I think he might have gotten through 1 or 2 sheds in his juvenile life. But into adulthood, I don't think his scoots ever shed properly because of his bad water quality, and he was eating just a very high in protein pellet that I don't think gave him the necessary nutrition to pop off his scoots properly. So right now he has a bunch of retained scoots. I don't know how deep the scoots are, like how many layers he has stuck on him. I've tried to look up ways to help with his scoot shedding off. They said just to increase his intake of vitamin E3 and to just let them fall off naturally. So that's all I've really been able to do, is switch him to a pellet that has E3 in it, because his previous pellet didn't have any E3 in it. Right now I'm waiting for him to shed all of his scoots off still. It's a really long process, but he's lost like 4 or 5 since I've had him, but he hasn't shed any of them completely full. I have this one and another one that's somewhere in my room. I don't know where it is. So we're making progress, but it is very slow. Back to his spots of shell rot, you can actually see it on this scoot. If it's like put up against a black background, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but there's actually shell rot on this scoot. So it's, right now his shell rot is on the first top scoot, so it hasn't touched the second scoot. I was treating it with betadine, but I didn't really see that much improvement, and it just stresses out Atticus so freaking much to sit and wait for the betadine to dry that I just kind of was like, it's not getting worse, so it's not penetrating through to the second scoot, so I'm just gonna let it be. I'm gonna wait for him to shed his scoots, and then if on the second layer of his new scoots he has shell rot, I will start treating it there. It hasn't gotten any worse or anything, so I'm pretty confident that this is the way to go. I think it might actually just be old shell rot that's not affecting anything else. I don't know, we're just gonna have to play it by ear. But so I'm eventually going to switch him off of his kale onto a leaf lettuce. Right now I have red that I'm trying to switch him onto, which I'll make a separate video about how I got him to eat vegetables, because he never ate vegetables in his entire life, so I had to slowly coax him to get him to eat them, because otherwise he'll just tear them up in his mouth and then spit it out, because he hates me. So right now he eats every other day. So he eats anywhere from like 4 to 3 times a week. He eats about a handful of kale, like a teaspoon of pellets, which is about like that much, so it's a little bit more than what a teaspoon sounds like. Every once in a while I give him a teaspoon of shrimp. I was giving him shrimp. I was doing like basically a 3-course meal for this dude, because I'm trying to get the 50% vegetables, 25% pellets, 25% protein. So I was doing a teaspoon of pellets, a teaspoon of freeze-dried shrimp, and then like 2 teaspoons worth of kale. But now I'm switching him off of such a high protein diet. As I mentioned in my last video, he might still have a little bit of a problem trying to eat his feces, which I think is due to a high protein diet, and he also is getting a little chunky, so we're gonna cut back on our protein. And he's now gained his protein from his pellets, because his pellets are already like 25% crude protein or something like that. Cutting back to a handful of kale and then just a teaspoon of pellets, and then like once or twice a week he's gonna get some shrimp, which apparently aren't the most nutritional for him, but I bought a whole thing of this, so we're gonna get through them, and he does not care. He loves shrimp. It's more of like a treat. I'll put them in his little feeder, which he reviewed, so if you want to see a cool turtle toy that you can give your turtles, I'll also link that in the description below. But he has a little feeder that I'll put the shrimp in, and then he has some fun going after that. So yeah, other than getting just a tad bit chubby, which isn't anything to be worried about, he's gonna be fine. I'm trying to make him associate my hands with food and positive reinforcement. So right now, every time that I feed him 1 or 2 things with my hands. So this is good because he is getting used to my hands, but now if I try to clean his tank, he'll try to eat my hands. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to clean right now, leave me alone. He'll be like trying to move rocks or like put his siphon into the water, and he'll be like, hand, that means food. So as long as I don't get bit, it's pretty cute. I'm trying to associate hands with positive reinforcement. Eventually I'll start like just touching him or stroking him and then giving him a piece of food, so then slowly he stops having a negative reaction to being touched, because right now he'll hiss and tuck himself into his shell if I touch him, and then he'll kind of swim around and be mad about it. So over a period of time, I'm going to eventually get him desensitized to me touching him, and then I'm going to try to start taking him out of the tank and getting him adjusted to being away from water and being comfortable with being out of it and not so aggressive. It's not necessary to have a turtle that tamed down. It just makes it easier for me to work with him, because if I try to take him out to look at his shell, I'm hissed at he tries to pee on me, and then he tries to bite me if I get too close to his mouth. And that's just not a very fun animal to work with, and I have the time to try to like tame him down a little bit more, so that's the only reason I'm really taming him down. And I've seen cute videos of people having their turtles out and they're just chill, so it's not necessary for him to be tamed down like that, but I would like him to be. But I'm gonna start putting in that work. I've already started doing the desensitizing to the hands, so I'll feed him something every once in a while with my hands, and he's doing pretty well with that right now. He's still a little jumpy, but he's getting there. Oh, Atticus also, on another note, might be a girl. I took him out for this video to film another part where you can see his shell and everything. But I was trying to get a picture of his cloaca because I think he's a girl. First off, the first indicators are when he has really short, stubby nails. They are not the long nails that males are known for. Second off, he has a short tail. Males are known for having long tails. But two things that keep him away from the female side are at the bottom his plastron, so the shell is comprised of the top part, which I forgot if it has a special name, but the top shell, and then the bottom part of the shell, which is called the plastron. And I had been looking all over how to figure out if the turtle's male or female. I've watched so many videos and they all basically say the same things, but some of them leave out other ways to tell, so I don't know if this is a valid way to tell? Why did I get southern? So the bottom part of his plastron is like curved upwards towards the front. And I think that's an indicator that he's a male because the males sit on the females, and so that way his like chest isn't flat and in the way. It's either that or it meant that the plastron, I can't even talk anymore, dips in if you lay them flat on their back, but I'm not sure. From the diagram it looked like it meant like if it curves up towards the head. And his does, so I was like, oh, well, even though he doesn't show these other characteristics, it would make him an inferior male. Totama said that. You know, each species has something they look for in the male that makes them inferior or superior, so this would be his considered inferior traits of short nail, short tail. Because he has a curved plastron, that would make him male. But I recently had the honors of seeing his cloaca because he was trying to freaking like poop and pee on me, and it looked pretty much towards the base of the tail. I was gonna get a picture if he did it this time around, but this time around I guess he was emptied out because he didn't try to pee on me. And so I'm thinking that he might actually be a female, which is interesting because he's from Petco, and Petco normally only sells male animals because they keep their females for breeding. If you have 1 male and 10 females, you're going to get a lot more babies than 10 males and 1 female. So they normally keep their female animals for their horrible breeding, and they sell off all the young males. So this might have been an oversight because I'm sure the people who were checking turtles in the shipment box to Petco were probably not paying that close of attention to male and female. So he may actually be a female, but he has also never seemed to try to lay eggs, and I know that female reptiles don't always lay eggs. It's kind of an irregular thing because laying eggs is the same as mammals menstruating. It's the reptile version, but it also seems far more irregular than mammals. Pretty sure you can have a female reptile that goes her whole life with never laying an egg, and you can have one that regularly lays infertile eggs. But he's never tried to lay an egg, but he also was not in a good situation to lay an egg, so we will see if he lays any eggs with me. It's probably a male, but I don't know. I question myself. The only animal I'm confident in sexing is honestly my geckos. I'm pretty confident my gecko Clyde is a male. That's the only animal I've had to sex myself. I tried to do the hermit crabs and it's way too complicated. But so other than him being a girl, which would not change anything for me, I might consider changing his name if he's a girl, because I don't think he knows his name and I don't think it matters. Or he may just go by Atticus. I don't really care. It's just I kind of like him to have a little bit more of a feminine name if he's a girl. And that would be my first other female besides my cat Ellie, because I don't have any female reptiles because I don't want to deal with the egg-laying situation just yet. The best thing is I used to call Atticus a sad rock when I got him. I was like, he is just a sad rock. He's not actually a turtle. Because he'd just sit there like a rock, sad, depressed. And now he's actually become a turtle. He can swim. He can climb onto his back skating spot, and he's just a chill little dude. And I want to make a whole nother video about why I don't think turtles make bad pets. Controversial statement. But that's just my opinion, and I will get more into that in the separate video. This video is already probably way too long. So, yeah, all you need to worry about is Atticus is great. He's gonna continue to do good. I love him. I'm obsessed with him. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. If you have any of the other Atticus videos that you want to watch, they will be linked in the description below, as well as that Instagram, so you can keep updated on my pets and anything else. So I'll see you guys next time, and goodbye.